Everyone, so I want to point out to you this Cascading Style Sheets 3 intro task. You're going to have a whole 2 weeks to do it. The purpose of it is to create style sheets rules that will apply to your previous HTML pages that you've already made. So you're just building on top of what you already have. All right. Now you're going to display how the page will appear differently given different levels of precedence in CSS. All right. Now we have 3 different ways of creating these style sheets rules. One of them is the embedded way, which is pretty much the most natural feeling way if you're the type of person who likes to add things into their HTML files, the script tags that we call embedded style sheets. There's also a link tag, so we call those linked or external style sheets. And then there's also inline style sheets that can be added as attributes or attribute values within the actual tags themselves. So now the instructions are asking you the following. Just please complete and edit this document only and send it back to me. For each question or requirement below, there are resizable boxes. If you don't have enough space, you can add more space however much you want. Okay, all of these boxes can be resized, no problem. And in there, you're going to put your reply. So if your reply is a code snippet, that's just fine. And if your reply is an English sentence, like I asked here, please be sure to use at least one full English sentence for answering these things. You're best off when you're being thorough. Then you would use those and put them in that box right there. Okay, and basically what you're giving me, in the case of the code snippets, the effects of all answers that you send me, they should be visible in your separate web page. So you should be using your web page as a means to test your answers. And even if you don't send me your web page, I will be able to then take your snippets and add them to my own pages and see if they would work. Okay, so that's what I'm asking you to do. Just make sure that these things work. That way you learn what you're supposed to learn. Also, feel free to use the included instructional resources that I've given you, or you can use your own resources. All right, so these 3 are very conversational and very thorough and very technical, so I think you'll like them. They're almost recreational in certain ways. Okay, and there's also plenty of examples that they'll give you. However, please do not attempt to copy work. Do not work alongside somebody else. I know that there's some of these study groups, 5, 10 people strong, and then almost everybody has the same answers. Please don't do that. And please do not pull your answers off of someone else, even if they're on the internet and maybe they're not in our classroom. Okay, so don't do that. And also, please do not copy code snippets off of the internet. Some people do that and they copy it word for word. I just want you to be able to learn things. So if you copy things, you won't learn. When you learn, you don't really need to copy, but you can jot things down for future reference. Also, any additional code or work that you want to send me to support your replies can be submitted as plain text files. Don't attempt to send me HTML, style sheets, or JavaScript files in email. The problem is that most email servers will disallow them because of security risks such as cross-site scripting and so forth and so on. All right, you're not going to disable it, trust me. I've been doing this for many years, and many people have been snagged by those problems. So all documents that you send me, they should be returned in a zip file. You'll be sending me this doc file at the very least, and in the same file format. Okay, doc file, I gave you a docx, so you should be returning a docx. And if you don't have the ability to work with it, there's Microsoft Word Online, there's Google Docs, just download it and make sure that it is a docx file. In addition, if you need to return things in a zip file, so Apple, they allow you to compress things just by right-clicking on them. So if you throw things in a folder, give them the right name, and then right-click, you can actually compress them into zip files. Sometimes they'll offer you to compress it as something else. They used to use something called stuff it, all right? But I believe zip is pretty much the standard. And, please don't send me TGZs, not that I can't open them, but I'm just trying to be fair for the Windows users who won't be using that because, I asked them not to use things like RAR or 7-zip. I just need a file format that is compressed that I can open on any machine and zip seems to be the one universal thing that I can open on mobile devices, netbooks, and desktops, laptops. So a .zip file. If you're using Windows and you don't see your application, you can always use WinRAR, or better yet, don't use WinRAR, use WinZip. WinZip will actually do it for you. WinRAR will make a RAR file. Don't use a RAR file. Use WinZip. Okay. Also, any additional questions about the content, how to understand things, send it to our Q&A forum, which we already have up and online. Multimedia Spring 22 at googlegroups.com. Okay. You'll also find another copy of this video, or you can find a copy of this video at our, or I should say, my YouTube channel, codeimitatinglife. Well, it's not .com. It's Code Imitating Life. I do have a couple of accounts, and I do have an email address with code.imitating.life@gmail.com. But Code Imitating Life, the channel at YouTube. All right. There's also going to be another video about beat tasks and mission checklists. And the important thing is that now you know how you can score your own material. So you should be able to know what grade you're getting, right? 5 points for this code snippet here that answers about giving an HTML tag a style sheets rule. You also have another 5 points for the style sheets rule for giving class attributes. Here, the skills that we're testing right now is just embedded style sheets, and down here you'll see that there's a link, an external style sheets type of question. And this one's worth 25 points because I'm asking you to link an external style sheet containing at least 5 CSS rules to your web page. So those 5 rules will be worth 5 points each. Now here you have 2 embedded style sheets rules. Okay, so that's another 5 points for each of them. And the embedded ones are going to be the ones between your script tags. I should say your style tags. So I'm just going to make that correction right here, because style tags, that's what's most important. Your script tags are for your JavaScripts, okay? And you're not using that. Instead, you're using it for your style tags. I use a lot of script tags, so I might actually put in that type of a word there. However, you should be clear to use style tags, not script tags. Both of them do exist. However, the style tags are what we're talking about, okay? Now, moving further down, other skills would include inline style sheets, all right? So these inline style sheets are going to be in the actual attribute section of your tags, the individual tags. And you're going to see both from this section up here about how these particular embedded rules will overwrite your external style sheet rules, okay, because that precedent goes over the externally linked rule. And then here you're going to see about how these inline style sheet rules will also take precedent over embedded rules as well as linked rules, okay? So now, this last part, 5 points each. I'm asking you the following: the difference between applying rules to tags or HTML elements, names, attributes, class attributes, and ID attributes. Now, the answers to these can easily be found in your HTML material. And the reason why I put that there is because once you combine style sheets with HTML, you'll see how the effect can affect many different elements or many different components, or just one component. So you have to know exactly how you're doing things and why you're doing them that way. Okay, so that's a slight HTML throwback, but by now you should know what it is. And then you're going to also get another 20 points, 10 points each. This is the free part, you know, where you're able to do some free thinking and self-expression. Following section allows you to insert feedback, which is going to be either questions, comments, ideas about what you believe should or should not have been included in this task, any sort of recommendations, you know, for an additional 10 points each. Now, you may add more than 2 if you want to add more than 2 facets. However, I can only afford you 20 more points, okay? So this is 20 points down here. Up here, you have 80 points total, all right? I'm going to count them out for you really quickly. 5, 10, 15, plus 25, that's 40, 50, 60, plus another 20 points total. Each of these guys being 5 points each. All right, so that's 80 points, plus these 20 points here. So I'm looking forward to getting plenty of hundreds. I don't think anybody's going to get just a 20. So, you'll have a whole 2 weeks to do it, and all the best. Please also make sure that you read the task submission checklist, all right? Please read the instructions just before you send things in. You should always do that. So this has been a short video talking about how to understand the actual points and breakdowns and seeing how to understand what grade you're getting and why, okay? And I hope the grade you're getting is perfect. So I will be speaking to you later, and thank you for watching this video. Take care. All the best.